together and it's like, well, this ain't working, the square here, but the blue line, oh, that is working today. You know what I'm saying? Or this period of time. So, you know, we is here with the Wizdom Dropz. Wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers, welcome back to Wizdom Dropz. Yours all my dad, that drops some wisdom. It's how to get astrology. Subscribe if you're new here. I was doing this for all the homies who have like been here. Shout out to Anna, co-creating with love. This video was totally for you and other people who are asking about this. So also dope username. Yeah. And if you like this video, if it brings you any value, I would hit the like button because I think it's going to be beneficial. You know, it is beneficial. The more of you who like this content, it helps other people get this information. It helps our platform grow. It helps what I'm doing grow. So thank you very much for all the support in the comments and, you know, the new subscribers. Welcome. Hello. If you've been here a minute, you already know I'm here for you. So thank you. And yeah, today we are in motion, y'all, and we got to keep it moving as we discuss the Mercury retrograde, like what not to do's and just like warnings in general that I have for y'all. My own life has shown me in the last like 48 hours that two things. Number one, you, my viewer base, want to know how to navigate under this energy, especially given that people are going to be acting all different type of crazy ways under this thing. Number two, that like I have life experience of the last 48 hours that should like inform this from the perspective of like travel. Oh, and the masterclass. Yo, do you want to learn astrology? I got an exciting announcement for you, okay? The next masterclass is happening this coming Saturday. It's going to be 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central Time. And this masterclass, you will be using your natal chart, identifying your North Node and your South Node, Rahu and Ketu, and understanding them as a pair, as a story of not only your soul throughout this lifetime, but throughout all lifetimes. So the masterclass that's happening this coming Saturday is totally free. You got to register though using the link in the description box, and you got to know how to pull your chart ahead of time. Which, when you register, I give you a video on how to do that if you don't know how already. So let's get into it. So I made a little list because we are driving, and I'm going to take my own advice and be careful while I'm driving because Mercury retrograde with the eclipse point, y'all, at an exact conjunction, please do not mess around with. Just don't. So the three main aspects that I want to discuss with y'all. Number one, Mercury is retrograde. You already know that. Till like June 22nd, right? Number two, Mercury is square Neptune, which is crazy sauce, right? Because it's like, whoa, wait a minute. You already know Mercury is retrograde, communications going wonky, whatever. You got to think more deeply about things. You got to go within and reflect and plan and devise, you know, your plans a lot further when Mercury's in retrograde. But on top of it, you add the fact that Mercury is square Neptune. Excuse me. So what does that mean? You know, you got to look at it from like, hey, people aren't going to be always saying what they actually mean, and they themselves may not even know what they mean. And if they do know what they mean, likely the communication of it is not going to be received in the same fashion, in the same sense, y'all, that it was intended. So you really have to understand that this is like a Mercury retrograde on steroids, and that's what I want you to remember. Is that this is a Mercury retrograde on steroids. There's a bird like trying to fly in front of me and I'm like, nah, don't do it. So anyway, you know, it's Mercury retrograde on steroids. And that brings us to like the communication around travel because Mercury also rules travel. Gemini is also the sign of travel. Gemini is ruled, that's the third aspect, by Mercury that I wanted to talk about. So, you know, it's like literally Mercury retrograde on steroids. The steroids had steroids that this Mercury retrograde is on. You understand? That's the best summary I can drop for you. And, you know, with it being an eclipse season, y'all, I've done so many videos on this, like how to ride the wave, you know, how to go with the flow of all this stuff and simultaneously be putting in the work and the effort and the psychological breakthroughs that Mars opposing Pluto right now are bringing us, right? It's time to honor that within. You got to honor that within. The other thing I wanted to talk with y'all about is like what you can expect specifically with people at this point in time. And when you do like communicate right with people, what is likely to be coming up. So the communication with travel thing, there's going to be like, I just hit 2 construction zones. I totally didn't anticipate. There was a wicked rainstorm. That's why I didn't film this earlier. I was like, oh yeah, cool. As soon as I hit the highway, I'm going to get on and talk with my people, you know, and like inform them so they know how to navigate this stuff. I wish y'all could see the clouds right now. I'm not even going to begin to try to mess with the tech to try to show you because that's totally unsafe right now. But like, it's gorgeous. These are cumulonimbus clouds. They're like the cumulus nimbus clouds. These are like the fluffy white ones that come. Oh my God, I just love them. I love them. They're beautiful. There's something about them, right? You know, anyway, the thing though is like random travel, like unexpected things. Like I say, I hit a crazy storm. I hit 2 construction zones and you got to pay attention, ma'am, sir, you got to pay attention because this is Mercury retrograde on steroids that had steroids. And I'm not messing around. I'm not playing around with that because you need to honor the fact that, you know, travels, communications, it's all wonky, it's all berserk. Nothing is what I think it is. And please, y'all, if you do, Neptune, come on, y'all. What's Neptune rule? The oceans. If you do find yourself driving Mercury retrograde conjunct the eclipse point, and there is a wet event, pay attention. Drop the phone. Do not be doing that. Don't even be testing it. Don't even be testing it. Because eclipse time, some serious stuff can happen. You know what I'm saying? If you do test it, don't test it. What the message I want y'all to take away? This is a time to honor the forces greater than yourself and simultaneously honor those forces within yourself. What do I mean by that? I'm going to say it again so it can register because that's kind of deep. This is a time to honor what is out of your control, that is under divine purview. And it's like, it's not a time to surrender and belly up and just like, oh, I'm at the whim of everything for the next 18 months, a year and a half, I'm just cruising. Maybe that's you in your chart in your life, but with this energy of this eclipse, that's not what this is really telling us. You're supposed to let go and release to the extent that you're not supposed to be like putting in an incredible amount of effort, you know what I'm saying, to like change your destiny. It's more so like, yeah, God is giving you things right now. Spirit is delivering you real changes right now. Go with the flow in that regard and plan. A woman with a plan, Stan. You know what I'm saying? A man with a plan, Jan. So you got to get with it. You got to get with the planning because Mercury is retrograde conjunct the North Node, and maybe you're already somebody like me engaged in like social media type stuff, like communication type stuff, and things are just busy, you know what I'm saying? And you've been feeling all type of like crazy just because of how much you've been working with it. But it's like a good crazy, it's like a hunger, you know what I'm saying? So lean into that, honor yourself where you don't know, you know, what you don't know. Honor yourself with that and let the rest. Do your best, surrender the rest. It's not the time to be like, oh, I have to immediately make this big change right now. I have to immediately fly across the country and change my address. Yeah, I have to leave and I have to live there. This is not the time to do that. This is not the time to quit your job. Don't be quitting your job under no Mercury retrograde. You're going to be having to come back and deal with that more later than you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, my big caveat on this, trust your life, trust yourself above all else, everybody else. You got to trust your own inner intuition, baby. You know what I'm saying? Trust you, trust your intuition, and trust your insights. But what I'm telling you is the astrology, it would be wise if you can, if you're in a situation where it could go either way, just hold off a minute. You know what I'm saying? Just hold off. Just hold off. Just hold off. Now, as I was saying, though, I do want to give you some signs and tips, y'all, for those of y'all who are really serious about figuring out, like, you know, how are people going to be coming at me? How's this energy going to be playing out in my relationships, my friendships, my colleague, okay, relationships. Number one, this is a tip, okay? Repeat back. And I heard this, shout out to, what's her name? Astrology with Heather, maybe. She's pretty cool, you know, she has some good content, you know what I'm saying? So everybody has their own lens, and I appreciate everybody for what they bring to it. Let me say that. And I appreciate, you know, her lens. Sometimes I think she drops some cool stuff. So, you know, I respect that about her, and she's clearly on her hustle. So, you know, the repeat back thing is going to be important, though. And I kudos to her for coming up with this, because it's important that you have people repeat back to you right now. If you're trying to communicate clearly about a deal, about an agreement, even if it's just like an interpersonal agreement, Like, hey, we are gonna agree to like not do this shit anymore and instead do this. You know what I mean? That sort of thing is gonna be all Mercury retrograde all day. So have them repeat back to you what you just said so that you can make sure you're on the same page in some type of way. It don't have to be like, honey, repeat back to me what I just said. You know, no, don't. You know what I mean? You get it. You get it enough. Moving on. Allow the time to unfold. Why am I saying this? This is so critical. For any astrology students, you're going to love learning why I'm saying this if you haven't already thought of it. Why am I saying allow time to unfold? Because at the time of this lunation, y'all, this new moon eclipse in Gemini, right? There is simultaneously a beautiful, it's a sexy little trine, you know what I'm saying? It ain't even a sexy sextile, it's a trine. It's a trine line. So this is like a harmonious aspect. This is a chill aspect, you know what I'm saying? And Saturn is the planet of time. So when you have a harmonious aspect from this kind of like really volatile potential of Mercury square Neptune that is already Mercury retrograde, right? And conjunct the North Node, pretty intense energy, pretty volatile energy in a certain regard. Whenever you have that and you at the same time, you got a nice aspect coming off of that tense energy. You want to put your attention to that nice aspect. Nice. The blue line, the trine, the sextile. Big why? Why? Why do you do that? Because it's going to help you navigate that energy and use it like a pressure valve. It's going to help you figure out how to use that energy to the highest good. But anyway, you know, allowing the time because that trine line is coming off of Saturn. And so you get that effect of allowing time to unfold and to support you in the process of figuring out what is otherwise very unclear, very challenging, perhaps messaging, or otherwise like, you know, just not easy to decipher. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this? It's like a cryptic code in front of me. You know what I mean? That's the type of thing. The other thing, the last thing, y'all, that I want you to remember is to allow your intuition, okay, to show you the truth. When you feel inside that something is kooky with somebody, shout out co-creating with love, how do you like navigate this? You should be asking yourself, am I giving it time to unfold? Am I communicating as clearly as possible and asking them to repeat things back to me if needed? And it could be you repeating something back to them. Like if they have something they say to you and you're like, wait a minute, did you just say this? You should repeat back to them just preemptively, you know what I'm saying? And number 3, just don't like forget to check in with your inner vibes. And at the same time, I'm telling you that when you get an inner vibe, you might get an inner vibe that like, oh, something ominous, and it might be for no reason because that's just Neptune energy. And at the same time, it could very well be for a very good reason. So if you get a funny feeling, what I'm trying to say is don't overreact, don't spook, don't overreact, okay, don't spook, but adjust and allow things to unfold in the fullness of time, Saturn. And also, again, this idea of reiterate, restate, and see how it comes back once you put it out at that point. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Make sure you smash that like button. Yeah, WizdomDropz community growing out here on the internet. Thanks to everybody who's groovy. Stay groovy, y'all. With that said, through next time. Until next time, it stars be with you.